Hello, my name is Andrew Lin. Today, I want to help you with your role plays. So, I'm going to be doing a step-by-step guide as to how you can excel in the roleplay event PBM. So if you're a first year, you came to the right place. I look forward to helping you understand your first roleplay and how to excel in it. So we see over here that this over here is your 4 performance indicators. These are the talking points that you are going to be using during your role play when you're speaking to the judge. So what I would recommend you do is you would want to write all your performance indicators down because you won't have them during your actual role play event. So you are only going to be able to come in with your prep notes, which you are going to be writing. Remember, you have 10 minutes to prep. So let's do that right now, shall we? Alright, so first of all, describe the nature of ethics. So what I'm going to do actually is show you a unique method. I'm going to have a piece of paper here, and I'm going to fold it in half. Alright, once I fold it in half, I'm going to grab another blank piece of paper and fold it in half again. Okay, this is a great way to organize your notes when you are working on a role play prep. So immediately when you get it, do this, right? Okay, then you want to write down on each side, you want to write down 1 performance indicator in the middle. This is before you even look at your prompt. And make sure it looks good because the judge is going to be looking at this. Describe the nature of ethics. Perfect. Flip it. Oh, you want to name it, if it's your first PI, you want to name it 1. So 1 on the corner, so you can see that. Okay. 2, respect the privacy of others. And while you write your PIs down, I mean, you can start brainstorming what you want to say because you only have 10 minutes. Time is precious, so you want to be able to maximize what you are utilizing, which is time in this scenario. Okay, 3, your third PI, maintain the confidentiality of others. Just to share a little bit about myself, I go to a public school in Silicon Valley, Limbrook High School, if you've heard of it. And I first started DECA last year, where I actually competed in this exact event, PBM, Principles of Business Management and Administration, as a first year. And honestly, I really enjoyed it because I was able to build my communication skills, grow my business knowledge, and also network with a lot of very, very smart individuals who I very much respect and value. Alright, we have 4 of them now. So what we're going to do next is actually read the prompt. Okay. By the way, that should have taken 30 seconds. So try to write fast. We're very lucky we have a short prompt. This is a very emotional prompt for me because it was my first ever district competition prompt. So I had this exact one. It's very, very nice. Okay. You are to assume the role of an employee in Human Resource Management Department at Big City Transit, BCT, a large city bus system. What I want you to do is I want you to grab a third sheet of paper. You only need 3 sheets of paper for this role play. You are going to write your role because you are going to want to play the part in your role play. You want to act the part and make sure your judge is reciprocating. Well, you can't force them to reciprocate, but you got to make it seem like a real business conversation, you know, for extra points. Embody the role is what I'm saying. So, employee in HRM at Big City Transit. Okay, once you have that, your coworker, write down judge role because you might need to address them by their role, so it's really important. So that's your coworker. You're an employee and your judge is your coworker. Now that you have that, read your prompt because it's going to ask you to give a solution, talk to the judge about something. All right. The Human Resource department at Big City Transit hires the city bus drivers and also maintains bus drivers' drug testing. All BCT employees must pass drug tests monthly. Your coworker does not understand why the HRM department must keep employee information confidential, probably referring to drug tests. So keep that in mind. You must explain the reasons why employee information is kept confidential. You will explain the information to the coworker judge in a role play that will take place in the office. The coworker will begin the role play by asking about the customer's information. After you have explained and have answered the coworker's question, the coworker will conclude the role play by thanking you. So, looking at this prompt, one thing I immediately notice is how it's a little bit unique, because it's talking about drug testing and that all drivers must pass a monthly drug test. So immediately I'm thinking, like, when I'm looking at my PIs, why it's important to keep this information confidential, because if someone is struggling with drug use, obviously that's their problem and it should be kept private, because that obviously does not belong in the workplace. They will ask me a question about customers' information. So I'm a little bit confused at first, because it says customers' information, but then why employee information is kept confidential is a question you have to ask. I don't know. But it's okay, because you don't have to be perfect. All you need to do is answer and be as eloquent as possible when you're speaking to your judge. So, as you can see, I have my role, my judge's role. I read the event, keyword, drug testing, and also employee confidentiality. Something about customer confidentiality. I don't think we should worry about it too much, because, I mean, it doesn't really talk about customer information. We'll see what the judge asked me. I really don't know, because I'm just doing a practice role play by myself. But, yeah. Okay, so now we've read the event. Now I want to talk about how you should plan your prep time. Remember, you only have 10 minutes, alright? So, first of all, we need to understand this, alright? This is what the judge is going to be grading you on. This is the judge rubric. So, as you can see, you have your 4 performance indicators, and there are 4 columns. Little to no value, below expectations, meet expectations, and exceed expectations. About how your judge believes you were able to answer the prompt, tie it with your performance indicator, all the while being confident and being able to articulate your thoughts properly. That brings me to my second part over here after performance indicators is your 21st century skills. Can you reason effectively, communicate clearly, show evidence of creativity, and impress your judge? These are highly correlating. Your performance indicators, if you do them well, you'll also do well on your 21st century skills. So it's really important to not only practice your communication skills, but also understand, start to think, all of these performance indicators, how are you going to answer them? Think about that during your prep time. But we'll go over it right now, okay? So first of all, describe the nature of ethics. Here is how I like to tackle PIs. You don't have to write it down, but it's highly recommended that you at least think about it in your brain when you are doing your prep time. So let me show you. So this is a very easy acronym to remember when you are tackling your performance indicators. This is called the DECA method, and obviously that's the name of this amazing organization, so it's pretty easy to remember. So, for each of your performance indicators, I want you to define the performance indicator. For example, describe the nature of ethics. What is ethics? Ethics is treating people with kindness, compassion, and making sure that they feel valued, and also being morally and socially right according to whatever country you're in, or state, city, province, stuff like that. Making sure that you can conduct yourself in a reasonable manner is around what ethics is, and that's what the judge will accept. Next, you explain. I want you to explain why this performance indicator is important. Why is ethics important in business? Think about it. Well, ethics is important because if you have ethics in your company, that will ensure that your company doesn't struggle with any perhaps legal incidents that could harm their company. Because if you have ethical employees, that will translate to a positive brand image. Next, you want to connect it back to the prompt. I mean, like, why is ethics important in this specific prompt? You can say it's important to maintain the privacy of employees, because what's personal is personal, what's work life is work life. It's important not to get these two tangled, and that's why ethics is extremely important, to understand what is acceptable in the workplace and what isn't. Finally, go above and beyond. This and beyond. This is extremely important. This point is what really allows you to show your uniqueness to the judge, because your judge is going to hear the same role play every single day for hours on end, listening to the same role play from similar participants. Going above and beyond is how you show why you deserve glass, why you deserve to win, by using creativity skills and also being able to come up with a unique perspective on the certain performance indicator that will allow you to become the one. So let me show you why that's also important, because if I was your judge, would I give you exceeding expectations if you weren't unique? Probably not, because you didn't go above and beyond. So that's why every single PI, I know it's 10 minutes of prep, you don't have a lot of time, strive, really strive to get a unique perspective, a unique situation, some kind of unique part of your role play. It's very ambiguous, it could be anything unique that you could bring into your role play is highly recommended. And that way you can pretty much have a very high chance of getting exceed expectations for each one of your roles, each one of your performance indicators. So define, explain, connect, and above and beyond. Okay, I'm gonna do that in my mind. I've done a lot of role plays, okay? I don't need to write define, explain, connect, and above and beyond. But if you are someone, it's okay if you are someone who likes to have a reference going in. Highly recommended actually for beginners. It's really important to have something that you want to reference, so that your judge not only knows that you know what you're talking about, but they can also have a chance to interact with any visuals or touch. Stuff like that is a great way to engage with the judge. So describe the nature of ethics. Well, we've already talked about this, but for above and beyond, I'm thinking, right? How can we show that ethics boosts a company's performance? Because right now we're talking up to a coworker, and we're in HRM. We have to manage employees. So if we have employees who are ethical, they mind their own business in terms of personal life, what can we expect from that, right? So here's what I'm thinking we can do. We can draw a graph. So we can say year, and remember, you have 10 minutes of prep, your judge knows that. Your graphs don't have to look amazing. So we can do 2025, 2026, and we can talk about employee productivity. Because if people are less distracted by their personal lives, or people, talking behind their back about personal lives, then their productivity will increase. So we can show a dramatic change. We can do like 50% productivity increase year over year. I don't know. It could be completely BS. You can really your judge won't look at it closely. As long as you have something, I think your judge will very much like that. So here, you can just draw a random graph and then show a sharp increase, and then like this. Okay, and then over here, at this point, you could just say, ethics on job workshop, or something like that. Judges really like actionable steps. If you can show them a plan of action and show them how they can use your knowledge to create real, visual, tangible changes and progress in a business, they're gonna love that. And that's where above and beyond is. So I already know define, explain, connect. I just gotta show a graph with it. And that's it. Each PI isn't that hard. You just need to manage your time properly, think actively about what you're gonna say, and then create a nice visual or like a quote, a good story, current business industry trends. Like, I'm just naming everything. Like, you could really do anything you want. You could throw a paper airplane across to your judge if you wanted to, if it made sense, if like you had an airline prompt. I'm yapping, but you get the point. Going above and beyond. Okay. Next, respect the privacy of others. This is important because we're talking about drug tests, right? And drugs is a very sensitive issue. So it's really, really important that you make sure that you really communicate why privacy of others is important in this company to your coworker who is your judge. So let me think, what is something above and beyond? Well, if you can't think of something off the top of your head, I have a really great idea for you. What are some traits or some characteristics around respecting the privacy of others? Well, if you really can't think of anything, which trust me, I can't think of anything 90% of the time. Somehow I still manage to cough up something. This is what I like to call a bubble diagram. Here's how it works. So I mentioned workshops, something like workshop to help bring to light some things to employees on how they can be more ethical individuals and respect the privacy of others. I'm pretty much doing the role play right now. I'm just saying it out loud, but that's how I would think in my head when I'm doing these role plays. What am I gonna say to my judge? More than just writing down random stuff, I gotta formulate what I'm gonna say to my judge. At least that's what I do. It's completely up to you. When I think of respect, here's what I think of. I think of empathy, understanding other people's perhaps insecurities or and avoiding them. Empathy is very important. Here's another thing, caring. Just being caring is respecting the privacy of others because you care about them and you don't want them to feel like you're invading their privacy. Another one, focused on job. If you're focused on the job, if you are focused on the job, you can't be focused on personal life and respecting the privacy of others. So let's think. Last one for respect the privacy of others. I would say one thing you can do is to mind your own business, staying in your lane. Because if you stay in your lane, then rumor and gossip, which is something that happens in the workplace, will be something you can avoid. Right, so now I finished my first 2 PIs. Okay? Maintain the confidentiality of others. How can we do that? Well, something you may notice is that respect the privacy of others and maintain the confidentiality of others go hand in hand. At first glance, it may seem very similar, right? Respecting privacy and maintaining confidentiality. But DECA right now is giving you an amazing opportunity to segue. You already talked about why it's important to respect the privacy of others. Now you want to talk about how you can take actionable steps, remember? Action steps. Judges love that. Trust me, from personal experience, judges love that. So you can go from how to how can we implement employees to respect each other. And we're thinking, right, employee productivity to make sure that people's own personal lives do not interfere, especially with drugs involved. Maintain the confidentiality of others. Again, actionable plan. I have a pretty good idea right now, but I'm going to actually show you the many different ways that you can go above and beyond. So right now we have a graph, a bubble chart, and it could also be as simple as bullet points. If you really, really can't think about anything, just do bullet points. Give me some unique bullet points. How we can maintain the confidentiality of others. I'm thinking employee development workshops is one great way to help make sure that we can address the problem before it even happens by making sure that employees understand what is okay and what is not okay in the workplace. Another great idea probably would be to have more secure networks. And what I mean by that is to make sure that there's two two-time authentication. I don't know what it's really called, but like making sure that once you enter a password or something, that you have a second authentication from a server or HR or operation management department, something like that. And then let's just do one more for fun. How else can we maintain the confidentiality of others? Well, when I'm thinking of confidentiality, I'm thinking of making sure everything is private, especially personal lives. So I think on top of employee development workshop, let's take it a step further. We can go from employee development workshops to employee handbook guides to reinforce that notion of making sure that we respect people. You know, this is okay. The judge will still think it's okay as long as you explain it properly. Oh, by the way, after this, I'm going to be doing the role play for you so you can kind of get a gist of what a decent role play looks like. Next, we're going to move on to PI 4. Oh, and by the way, each role play, you have 10-minute prep, but then you have 10 minutes to speak if you didn't know that. So obviously, typically beginners do have like a discrepancy. They do shorter than the 10 minutes. So obviously, if you can squeeze out a little bit more words, and obviously not just BS, like articulate, clear, that actually words that actually contribute to this conversation, that would be great. So let's talk about treating others with dignity and respect. So, I mean, it was kind of the same thing as respect the privacy of others. So, when in doubt, do a graph. Oh, I didn't explain my rationale. So basically what I'm thinking is if you treat others with dignity and respect, which we kind of already mentioned in PI number 2, I believe. Now let's talk about the effects to motivate employees. Because if they can see that their employee satisfaction rate increases when you treat others with kindness and compassion, and they learn, you know, we've talked about it, then that will increase this, and then we can lead to more sales, better customer reviews. All right, sorry for talking so long. I hope you're enjoying this video so far. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of an overview on how I would personally conduct my role play. So obviously I would shake hands with the judge. I would say, hey, it's so great to meet you. Whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with? They'll tell me their name. I sit down. May I ask to be seated if they are your one up, like above you in the chain of command, you know, in business. After that, I would just get into it. I would throw in a greeting. How was your day? Right? Just to get them in a good mood. Also, remember, it's really, really important that you are confident. You need to embody a business person, a salesman. You're selling yourself and your ideas to your judge to get a good grade. So it's really, really important that you're confident, you articulate yourself well, etc. Okay, next I would move into my PI. So obviously I would DECA each one of my PIs. I would describe ethics, I would explain, connect it, and go above and beyond with my graph. I do that for all 4 of my PIs. Then I would do a conclusion. I would say, hey judge, thank you so much for listening to me today. I hope I answered some of your questions on why we should keep the employee information confidential. As I stated before, all of these reasons, which I would probably state, is why it's really important to actually maintain the confidentiality of others. And I also provided you a step-by-step guide. If anything was unclear, please feel free to contact me. You have my email after this meeting, and I would love to either schedule another meeting with you or email you further. Obviously, that's not gonna happen, right? But you just gotta play your part. Like, that's what someone would do, that's what you should do. Yeah. And then have a strong introduction, DECA each one of your 4 PIs, right? and then have a strong conclusion. So now I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna let you see how I would personally go about this. Okay? So typically I would have it up in a tent form like this so the judge can see it. If you can see, I would have it in a tent form. But just for this, I'm going to keep it on the table so you can see it.